It is from the Delaware tribe of the Eastern Woodlands. A bandolier bag's form, so there are kind of two parts to it. One is the bandolier, and the bandolier is this piece right here. It's floral. It is a long kind of rectangle, right? If we kind of measure it from here down here to kind of square. So it's a bit of a rectangle. And the bag is also rectangular. It's the same color motif. And yeah, that's the start of form. Kind of form and content are overlapping here. A bandolier bag, you can see this is our piece here up close. It's comprised of thousands of seed beads. Seed beads are glass. They are round. They are pretty uniform. Let me back up. They don't have to be glass, but most often they are. Seed beads were made in Europe, in Eastern Europe, Czechoslovakia area, Austria area, and they were traded with Native Americans by Europeans. They came in a variety of colors, some colors more valuable over time than others. Continuing here with form and content, in addition to seed beads, we have here on the bandolier bag silk ribbons of a variety of colors. You can see white, blue, red, and green, kind of a mauve color here or a faded red color. And these provide a lot more visual texture and variety to a bandolier bag. Then we also have over here, if you can look at the bag itself, that was more on the bandolier. On the bag itself, we also have ribbons, but we have this wool yarn, right? Wool yarn. And then we've got these metal cones. Look up real close here at these metal cones. So all of these ingredients went in to make a bandolier bag. Pointing out here also, white beads were used as outline for this piece, right? And then also notice the bandolier, right? This strap would go over the back of a person. This strap would be in the front of a person, or vice versa, depending on whether they wear it on the right or the left. But notice here that the design is not the same. Right, we have a similar design. We have a similar use of this maroon, similar use of the pink and of white and the green, of course. But notice that the blue, we have turquoise here. We have kind of a medium blue here. The design is not the same. So just pointing out that there's variety here in this design. Okay, function. These bandolier bags were worn across the body, and that the strap crosses the chest either right or left, and the bag rests on the hip. The bag, we use the word bag, but it could have an interior pocket where a person would put stuff, or it could not. These were pretty decorative in purpose, and if it did have a kind of a pocket, a container, it was not necessarily used to hold anything. And the wearer of a bandolier bag could wear two bandolier bags at once. The function. So these men are dancing, and the function of a bandolier bag, right? You can see this gentleman has got two bandoliers, and so does this man. And so what happens is they show they're shiny, glass is shiny, the metal cones make noise. These add to the whole visual and sensing experience of dancing, of celebrations, ceremonies. I want to back up here. I didn't write it, but I want to say it because it's essential for you to know that a bandolier bag is very valuable. It takes a lot of time to make. And so bandolier bags would also show status. Bandolier bags show status. Context here. Bandolier bags were made by women, but typically worn by men. There are exceptions to this. I've seen a picture of a woman wearing a bandolier bag. Um, Notice here this woman who is making a bandolier bag. This was about 1880s, 1890s, this photograph. You can see here, these are beads rolled on birch bark or on paper. And while there were some looms, women could also just be creating these kind of free form without a loom. Okay, then you can see in this photograph taken in 1886 in Minnesota, these men are wearing their bandolier bags, right, would be serving as ceremonial decoration and again would show status. The more bandolier bags you have, the wealthier you were, you could afford to pay some woman to make them, or you have the wealth to get these beads. Remember, there are thousands of beads. The context for our particular bandolier bag is that it was made by the Delaware tribe, somebody in the Delaware tribe, we don't know who. But this is where the Delaware tribe began. But at the time, right, 1850, of the wearing of creation of this bandolier bag, by that time, Native Americans from the Delaware area had been pushed east. Now, right, I have lots of photos of Delaware bags from Minnesota and from Wisconsin. So, not necessarily are the Delaware people in Delaware when this bag is being made. They're not actually. So they were forced migration during. You may not have remembered Andrew Jackson, President Andrew Jackson's Trail of Tears that he started. The Delaware people were a part of that. Okay. So as they were pushed west, Delaware people came in contact with many other native cultures, and the designs of Delaware bandolier bags adapted as people moved west. And so you can see these various designs. Pretty amazing. And here, this photo is from, oh my God, I'm going to say 1920s, right? Here we have a probably a Ford car here, and these gentlemen wearing, in this case, two bandolier bags, and pretty amazing. This is Chief John Young wearing a bandolier bag. So the designs have adapted as people have moved and connected with one another, and again, a sign of wealth and status. Okay. And interaction with Europeans too, by the way, right? Serious interaction. And I want to also say, not only was there bead work here, right? We already mentioned there's silk, wool, metal. They can be made on leather, but they could also be made on calico. Let me go back and show you this. Our piece, really, if you looked up super close here, I don't know if I have an up close version. I don't. You can see this cloth, calico, which would have come from my world history students, would have come from India. Okay, that concludes the bandolier bag.